make some tags today that are neutral and that I can scan in and continue to use for other projects. So I have this piece of 12 by 12 paper that I collaged some time ago. I don't remember when. I don't like it. So it would make, the thickness would make great tags. Well, what I'm going to do is cover this up with gesso. Some of it will still peek through. And then I have a pile of scraps here, and we are going to collage the tags and then scan them in. All right, so I'm going to put this to music so you can watch what I'm doing. Okay, this is nice and dry now. Even though I'm using a collaged sheet of 12 by 12 paper, you don't need to do that. If you've got a piece of 12 by 12 pattern paper that you know you're not going to use for anything else, you can just use that and do the same thing that I'm doing. So now we're going to cut this into tag pieces. And since this is a 12 by 12, let me just make sure. Yep. We're going to make it easy on ourselves. Let me cut this in half at 6 inches. And we're going to make tags that are 3 by 6. Okay. Okay, so we have all of our tags. And let's start out with 3 of these. So I'm going to cut. I'm not sure if this is going to work. I may have to revert to the old-fashioned way of using a credit card, but let me see. Oh, yep, it's working. So if you don't have one of those punches, I just use an old store credit card. Of course, I'm knocking everything over. An old store credit card with different size cuts on it, and you can just lay it against your card, cut the shape, flip it over, and do the other side, and that way you'll have even corners. All right. So like I said, I have a bunch of papers here, leftover stuff. Some stuff I was playing around with inks. Don't necessarily like them. That one's really ugly, but if you cut it up into little pieces, it's not so bad. I have an old book here from 1911. Some vintage music paper. Some of my digitals. Stuff that's out there in the public domain that you can print off. So we're just going to start by tearing up a few pieces of paper and gluing them down. And I'm going to be using glue stick to do this. Let's start with some coffee dyed paper. Got some holes punched in the side. Okay. Actually, I'm just noticing I've got some stamping on here that's probably copyright, so I'm not going to use it since I'm going to be scanning these tags in. So let's find some other things to use. Got some old receipts here. These are things that are out there in the public domain that I just printed off. These are not originals. And you want to keep these neutral enough that you can use them in any project. Actually, I need to check on this music paper and just be 100% sure I can use that. In the meantime, we'll go with something else. All right, here's some of my digitals. I actually like that better anyway. Okay, let's see what else. Now, if you are using a collage sheet, just make sure that any stamps that you used or book page or digitals are okay for you to use. And just make sure if they're not that you cover everything up, because we don't want to get in trouble with the copyright police. I think I'm good there. Let's see. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, and these are really nice and thick. The next thing I want to do is go sew around the edges of all of these before I scan them in. I also think I want to round the edges of this. Make sure that gets... Oops. All right, and I also think I'm going to lightly ink around the edges here. All right, and so if they're still not neutral enough, I'm happy with these, but let me just demonstrate something else that you can do if you end up feeling like it's too much color. We can take a little bit of gesso. I'm just going to squeeze a tiny bit out on the mat here. Just take your finger and just lightly go around the edges of some of these little pieces. And that makes it look like all the pieces are playing nice in the sandbox together and makes it even more neutral. I actually love that, so I think I'm going to do it to all three. Yeah, that is perfect. All right, so I'm going to go sew around these and get them scanned in, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. Okay, I sewed around all of the edges. Give you a close-up what that looks like. Okay, and then I scanned them. And this was a very interesting, you know, you hear you should always scan on matte photo paper or whatever, and I do a lot of that with my digitals. But this is one scan that I did using matte photo paper. It's double-sided matte photo paper, and I selected the media quality to best instead of normal, and this is a comparison of what these look like. So it really enhanced the original, made the colors a little bit more brighter. I'm not sure if they're pretty, and I'll definitely use them, but I'm not sure that's exactly the look I was going for. So the next one that I did was 80-pound cardstock, and again I set the media quality to best. I'll put this up here as comparison. So the colors are a little more subdued than with the photo paper. I guess you can see that. Let me scooch this up a little bit. So this is the photo paper. This is the cardstock. Okay, and that's a comparison to the original. So the next one I did was photo paper, and I did it on a normal instead of best setting. But I didn't want more of these, so I included some decorations on the tags. I did this digitally, and I set the printer on normal instead of best. Again, the colors are enhanced. I actually like these quite a bit. And then I tried This is 80-pound cardstock. Set the print quality to best. And I really like these on the cardstock. Really, really like them, especially with the decorations. Okay, so that's just, I use Canva. I have a pro account, but there's still lots that you can do with a free account. Like I said, I did digital images instead of taking stickers or fussy cuts or things like that to decorate my tags with. But I am working on a Christmas journal, and I wanted some Christmas tags. So now I have some neutral tags to add to my stash. I have a whole bunch more that I need to work on. And I printed some coffee dyed paper on the back. And so these tags are ready to go and use in a journal. And I can use these over and over again and decorate them any way I want, either with physical items or with Canva. So guys, that's just some ideas on things you can do with some scraps that you have, or 12 by 12 paper that you don't like. Again, I used a collage 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. Gessoed it down to take the background in the back because I really didn't like it. Added some scraps to the front. Did a little gesso around the edges, and then stitched around with black thread, and then scanned them in so I can use these over and over and over again. But these for now will go into my stash. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.